Hi guys, welcome to the third review in my custom figure review series. This time it's going to be a bit of a double bill. I'm going to talk about the two striped Commander Daleks that debuted in my video series back in 2007. So this time we've got the red Dalek Pilot and the black and silver Dalek Prime. Now these two Daleks were eBay customs, so I didn't make these. They were two customs that had shown up on eBay, and originally they were a battle pack, and the red one was originally the gold Dalek and the black one was originally the black Dalek in the battle pack. So they used to have full remote control functionality, the flashing lights and the speech and all that sort of thing. Obviously, for these two recreations, these are just on normal Dalek figure moulds. And the reason why I asked them to be made like this is because I wanted them to fit in more with the other Daleks in this scale and not have the limited posability that the remote control ones had. So these two also differ from the other customs covered so far because changes were made to the colour schemes that were deliberate so that they look better than the original versions did. So comparing them to the originals, one of the first things you'll notice is that the spots have changed. So now the spots alternate depending on what colour the skirt panel is that's beneath it, whereas originally they were just block colours. And the eye stalks have now been painted, the irises have been painted. Previously they were just the holes on the RC Dalek eyes. And then the black Dalek slats are no longer alternating silver and black gloss, they're just silver. And I think that's more or less everything that's changed. So these Daleks first appeared in a comedy film called Christmas on Skaro that I made in 2007. And in this episode, they formed part of the Supreme Council, which was seen in my old series, which was 4 Daleks. It was Dalek Sec, the Supreme Dalek from the Battle Pack, and these two Daleks, and they were each in command of a separate section of the Dalek City. And these two debuted together, so they were seen alongside one another, and this was a theme that continued for the whole series, so whenever one of them was seen, they were usually seen alongside each other. In terms of the usage in the stop motions, they've had probably the least amount of usage of all the customs in my stop motion videos. They briefly appeared in 1 or 2, probably for no more than a few seconds in each case. They were in the Genesis Arc video, and they were also in one of the Dalek comedy shorts that I made. But I think that was the only 2 times they were actually ever used, so they didn't really have expanded roles in those stop motions. The roles of Pilot and Dalek Prime weren't introduced straight away in the films. They were originally just additional members of the Supreme Council, but these roles were fleshed out later on in the series. Now, if we go into the paint apps of the individual Daleks, the red one's got a really nice glossy red finish with a black gloss as its main secondary colour. I love red Daleks and I love glossy Daleks, so this is a really nice colour scheme to see on a figure that's done properly, rather than the original version, which was a bit messy. And then the black Dalek has matte black sections and gloss black balls with silver sections as its secondary colour. I couldn't tell you which of the two was my favourite. I think they just work together as a pair, which is really nice. Obviously, the original inspiration behind these colour schemes was probably the striped Saucer Commander Dalek in Dalek Invasion of Earth. And it's nice to have a modern version of those. As a kid, I adored that striped Dalek, so to have these figures before they started to release the classic series figures was really nice. And I used them in loads of my old films. It's just the stop motions where for some reason I just stopped using them for one reason or another. I suspect it's because they weren't very posable, so they weren't very good to use for stop motions where they had to speak for long periods of time. The red Dalek Pilot is shown throughout the film series repeatedly to be quite a bad driver. The Dalek Prime, on the other hand, is never actually seen to have any specific function. It's just used more or less as a leader of one of the sections of the Dalek city at any one time. There's never any reference made to what its actual job is. But in my head, I had it in mind that it was responsible for controlling different groups of drones and kind of coordinating them around. Okay, and then to wrap it up, here's just some footage of them alongside the normal chunky drone Daleks of the time. So that's it for the initial 4 Daleks I was going to discuss. The next episode in this series, I'm going to talk about the Red Saucer Commander Dalek, which is the only custom of my original customs that I still have. Before I went to university in 2013, I sold a lot of my Daleks, and this was one of the ones that survived that purge. And I'll talk about this in the next video in the series. I hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned for the next episode, which should be coming out this weekend.